All righty, folks. Trump was sworn in on Monday. That means he is in active duty, kind of recruiting people into new roles and new positions. We got Bo, the concierge to small business lending, and I hear we have got a new SBA administrator at the top of the food chain. Who is it? What do they do? And why is it important to all of us? Bo, what do you got?
Well, her name is Kelly Loeffler, and she's actually in politics. She was the CEO of Backed, a financial service and cryptocurrency platform. She's got Wall Street and investment ties, Citibank. She's got strong capital markets experience, entrepreneurial mindset. Her husband, I was researching. Her husband's actually forgot his name. Oh, here it is. Jerry Sprecher. He's the founder and chairman of Intercontinental Exchange, one of the world's largest financial marketplaces, including owner of New York Stock Exchange.
Damn.
I didn't realize
we got a player.
We got a player. So what does that mean? What does it mean to us? Right? And what I think it means.
What does it mean to me, Bo? Come on, let's just tell everyone. What does it mean?
Well, I think what it means is that, look, since 2010, they haven't raised the SBA loan limits. We're capped on a SBA 7A loan. We're capped at 5 million. I believe we're going to go up to 10 million, which is going to unlock a lot of these Main Street businesses for acquisition. And now you're capped at 5 million. So I have a lot of people that come to me and go, hey, I'm trying to buy this $9 million business and I only got 800 grand liquid. How do I do it? And I'm getting a seller carry. Well, sometimes I can do them. It's called pari passu. I do a SBA 7A with a conventional piece. I can get about 7.5 million in proceeds if the deal makes sense, doing it that way. But now what this will mean, if they move it up to 10, we'll be able to structure deals where before we would never be able to structure SBA financing, because we'll be able to do a $10 million 7A and maybe even conventional piece with it. So we'll be able to do the 10 to 15-ish $million acquisitions with 7A, which is huge because, you'd have to do mezzanine financing or creative structures. So there's like family offices that do mezz debt. Mezz is basically, it's the way they structure it essentially. And they become on paper, they have like they're part owners of the LLC. So it's easier to take the business if it defaults. I'm not a mezz expert, but a lot of people in the private equity space use mezz as a financing structure on these larger business acquisitions. So now what it means is that these smaller to medium-sized players that are stepping up are now able to capitalize on these bigger acquisitions. So with the transition of all these boomers that will sell businesses at some point, it's going to open up for smaller guys and girls to get into the bigger businesses, which will essentially be good for everybody.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about this because, obviously I'm the real estate guy, at least in this conversation, which you are as well. But today you're playing the small business concierge. I have heard President Trump talk about initiatives to make housing more affordable. He may have talked about small businesses and may have talked about SBA. I don't know. But have you heard any, mention from the, Trump himself or maybe Vance, JD Vance about what they want to do? Because it feels like to me that small business is going to be a big focus going forward. And by a big focus, meaning investment, meaning raising the limits, making it a goal for a lot of people to be entrepreneurs. I see small business being a key growth strategy for the Trump administration, but I'm not sure if he's talked about it at all in the last 6 months. Has he?
On the housing front, I'm not sure. I know there was something out in the news about it. So to me, what would make the most sense is not to give a credit, to like, hey, you get a $25,000 credit. I think that what would make the most sense is to have a first-time homebuyer program that's expanded. So I think we're going to see more of. Back in the day, they used to do a lot of these FHA loans that were they would tier up. The interest rate would tier up over time. I think there's going to be something something created that's going to really help ramp up. So it's going to be a lot lower introductory rate over like a 5 to 7 year window, which will help people in a realistic fashion, so there's not a lot of defaults, right? We don't want to
Yeah.
create a product that's going to cause defaults, which, believe it or not, they
What
do a
about
lot.
small? Yeah, what about small business though? Do you see something like that in small business loans as well, where maybe they incentivize or things? I think SBA is going to be an important part of what Trump makes happen in the next 2 years, right? I think small and medium sized businesses are going to start feeling more positive about what's coming. But have you heard President Trump talk about SBA? I have no idea. Can you hear me, Bo?
Not really, other than the fact that who he had nominated, right? And so, how? Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
I think our internet's a little slow. So, what I think is going to happen is loan limits are going to be increased. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Loan limits will be increased. There could be some help on the equity injection component. So I think for first-time home buyers, I mean, first-time business owners, there's through some of the extended programs, they allow for a smaller equity injection. That could be a possibility. And they're also streamlining smaller SBA loans right now. So we had done a previous episode on loan amounts up to 150 have increased by 33%. So the SBA has been pushing their lenders, their banks, credit unions, and non-bank SBA lenders to do smaller loans. So we've seen 33% uptick, loan amounts up to 150, and we've seen 16% uptick loans amounts up to 500,000. So I think across the board, not only are we going to do bigger deals, we're going to do smaller deals, we're going to do more deals, we're going to help more people. The 7A, I think, helped about 70,000 business owners last year. And I would say we're gonna help way more than that this year. I would imagine, because the writing's on the wall. People are like, there's a lot of transitioning happening right now. People are losing their jobs. People are getting replaced by AI. There's going to be, with what Oracle's doing with this new, they've yesterday, if you're watching the news, they're doing this new AI infrastructure with Oracle and SoftBank. It's going to be like a $500 billion project, which is apparently going to create 100,000 jobs, maybe, right? So we're going to see we're in a new era of business, and it's the digital era. So you can either get on the gravy train or be left behind. And I'm getting on the gravy train, right? And I already see the writing on the wall. I already see the value in AI. It's not going to replace you, but it's going to enhance you. It's going to give you those bionic, the Bionic Man, that old TV show, right? Like, you're going to have bionic abilities if you can tap into AI. And so I believe that wholeheartedly, that AI is bigger than when the internet started. It will change things, or as big. I mean, the internet blew things up, but this will be as big or bigger. I would probably say bigger.
It's really interesting. When I think about 2025, my thoughts on the existing home market are pretty clear. I think it'll be the worst year since 1995, which actually Fannie Mae echoed that statement this morning. But when I think about small business area, now again, I don't have the experience you have. I've only been looking at it the last 2 years since we've been talking. I actually think SBA lending is going to go up this year. A lot of because what you're talking about. I think there's a lot of people that realize they need a plan B. There's a lot of people looking at kind of their 2.0 life, right? They had life 1, now they want 2.0 and they want to do something different. I think there are going to be people that look at the W-2 as less certain, probably more risky than they did before because of AI. So I expect SBA lending to be up 15, 20%. And if you add on top of that higher loan limits, easier process for small loans, I mean, it might go up 30 or 40%. I think SBA lending is going to be a highlight of 2025. What do you think?
Yeah, they have to make up for all the PPP and all that stuff that happened. I mean, there was so much fraud with these idle and PPP loans. So I think, there's cake on SBA's face in a certain regard right now. And I think what's going to happen is, I think they're going to heavily dive in there and do what they can to get all the fraudsters out of it. But I think what's going to really happen is that the writing's on the wall. If you open up the floodgates and let small entrepreneurs become big entrepreneurs, right? Or at least get into the game, then the sky's the limit. It's just like if you look at being able to finance, I mean, we could do an analysis. If you were buying 10 vending machines for $100,000 and you used 90% of it was financed by SBA, your return on invested capital is so much greater, your ROI, if you're placing those machines in the right place. Because where else can I put 10 grand down and get that kind of return on that 10 grand, right? And pretty much nowhere. So that's why I always talk about, like, because it's a great concept to buy one rental at a time, and everybody should, right? One a year, guys, right? But also, as prices are so hard and rates are up, it's now tough. Even right. Look, I look here in Las Vegas about even moving up. Like, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be a move up buyer. And I'm like, it just doesn't make sense for me. I'm like, I'm comfortable. I have my payments cheaper than most people's apartment. I got a nice 2,600 square foot house. Now, do I want to be a better house? Yeah, but I'm like, it's not really worth it for me at this point. So, so where do you get the highest ROI? It's in some sort of operating business. And then people say, well, I don't want to be too active. Well, then you got to do something that's simple, like a vending business, or there's other businesses. Some people are extremely good operators too, right? Like people can operate multiple businesses. You often wonder, like, how does this person own 50 different franchises? We all got the same amount of time. How does Zuber have 150 doors and most people can't manage 4 doors, right? Well, it's because you understand business, you understand systems, you get the right people in place. So same thing with owning a business. You have to do the same exact thing. You have to have the infrastructure and you have to have the skills to be successful in that business. Because a lot of people get into real estate investing and they fail. Why? Because
no doubt.
They think they should go buy in the Midwest because they can buy $70,000 rental properties, and then they go, wait, I thought I was going to cash flow $600 a month, and I'm in the hole $3,000 because I had to replace my HVAC and I had a toilet leak and this and that, right? And so, just understanding the reality and getting into the game of all this, because there's no better method than the triangle method: tax strategy, operating business, real estate. If you do that, you'll become wealthy over time.
Love it, folks. If you want to talk vending, you want to talk SBA, the concierge to small business lending is Bo Eckstein. He actually created a website just for this channel. Go to onerentalmeeting.com, book your 15 minutes, talk shop, look for plan B, see what's what, see what he can do for you. Bo, closing thoughts?
Just get in the game, start learning, take action, go to the events, go to the One Rental event. It's coming up in less than, what is that, 20 something?
25 days, I think. 25 days.
25 days. I'm excited because I know I'll see a lot of people there that I've talked to. So just get in the game, get involved, and just research and take action on something, right? But like, do something. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to do a lot of it this year, and we're already first month in. We only got 11 more months of this year.
It's crazy. So, like, it's almost over. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's almost over before it started. So I think the thing is I don't want to be a quarter into this year and then have not done any of what I've set out to do. Cause I'm doing sprints this year, right? Like you just ran a marathon, but I bet you if you trained like a sprinter, you would probably have much better physical results, right?
Oh, for sure.
So I think it's that mindset. Like, okay, like I go to the gym and I'm doing like slow impact, and I'm like, well, what if I just did 20 minutes as hard as I could sometimes, right? Like, and then you're going to get better results. Not all the time. You got to let your body heal, but let your brain heal.
There you go. Folks, go to onerentalmeeting.com, book your 15 minutes, get it done. Take advantage of this man's deep expertise, knowledge, and options. Thanks, Bo. Take care. Talk next week.
Thank you.